So I'm just doing a little chart here, and this totally relates to igneous rocks. And so when we talk about igneous rocks, we know that that igneous rocks comes from a molten, and molten is either magma or lava. So magma is the stuff that's down inside of the ground that cools very slowly, and crystals have time to grow really big. Lava is the stuff that comes out of the ground that cools quickly, and crystals don't have time to grow, so they're actually very small. Another word for magma would be an intrusion or a pluton, and we also say that rocks that come from a magma are intrusive or plutonic. Just like another word for lava would be an extrusion and or volcanic, and rocks that come from a lava we say are extrusive or volcanic. These down the side here, like ultramafic and mafic and intermediate and felsic, we learned those as being colors. So ultramafic, really dark, mafic is dark, intermediate is in between, and felsic is light. But now we're starting to look at these as being mineral compositions. So we know that rocks are made of minerals. So if the minerals are light in color, then the rocks are going to be light in color. If the minerals are dark in color, then the rocks are going to be dark in color. So to me, felsic is a composition, intermediate is a composition, mafic is a composition, and ultramafic is a composition. I just wanted to point out that when you look at felsic, you'll see Si for silicon, you'll see Fel for feldspar, and so that is kind of a clue that we're talking about light minerals that have a relatively low density. And if you look at mafic, M for magnesium, F for iron, and so magnesium and iron makes minerals dark in color, so the rocks are going to be dark in color, and also those minerals are going to be of higher density. So now we just need to look at brother-sister rocks, and so here we have a rock that's called peridotite, and here we have a rock that's called komatiite. I don't have room to spell them all out in the little table here. And for mafic, we have a rock that's called gabbro, and we have a rock from lava that's called basalt. For intermediate, we have a rock that's called diorite, and we have another one that's called andesite. And for felsic, we have granite, and we have another one called rhyolite. So these are what I call the brother-sister rocks, and what I mean by this is if you were to look at these two here, peridotite and komatiite, they are the exact same in terms of mineral composition and therefore color. So both are ultramafic and both are made of the exact same minerals. Where they're different is texture. So peridotite cools slowly from a magma, so the crystals are big. You're going to get a phaneritic texture. For komatiite, the crystals are small because it cooled quickly from a lava, so you're going to get komatiite. And the texture in this particular case would be aphanetic. Just to look at another one, so if you were to look at granite and if you were to look at rhyolite, both are made of the exact same minerals, both are light in color. What's the only difference? Texture. Granite cools slowly from a magma, so the crystals are big. Rhyolite cools quickly from a lava, so the crystals are small. And that is essentially it. So every single one in this column right here will have a phaneritic texture because they all cooled slowly from a magma. And all of these in this column right here will all be aphanetic because they all cooled quickly from a lava. So on the public exam, they could say, what is a similarity, one similarity and one difference between, we'll say, for example, gabbro and granite, or they could say, what is a similarity and what is a difference between diorite and andesite. And so you just need to think about that. And so this is essentially the brother and sister rocks that you need to know. There's only really 3 igneous rocks that are not in this table that you need to know, and they are pumice, scoria, and obsidian. And they're not here because they have glassy textures. Pumice and scoria have a frothy, glassy texture, and obsidian has a compact, glassy texture. And they can differ in terms of color, so they can basically go under ultramafic, mafic, intermediate, or felsic. For example, I've seen light-colored obsidian, and I've also seen dark-colored obsidian, but it still doesn't take away the fact that it's obsidian and it's compact glass. So they're the only 3 rocks that's not in this table.